This is Jonathan St. James, and you're listening to The Truth is Still Straight podcast.
All right, folks, this is Jonathan St. James, and once again, this is The Truth is Still Straight podcast. Wow, I feel the love. All right, who's going to get my Boo of the Week? I'm not even sure who's getting the Boo of the Week, but if I had to make a best and safe bet, I'm going to give it to Sister Millie from the West Coast, only because I know she loves to give me a hard time when she gets it. So, Sister Millie, this Boo is for you. Shout out to Sister Millie, by the way. But also, I'd like to give a shout out to all those who like, subscribe, support, watch, whatever you do for the podcast. And those people are Pedro Falcone, Tatiana Cruz, maybe, Lee Jones, Tessie, Sister Millie from the West Coast, V, Mr. Wilkes, Mahia Milton Gonzalez, Beverly, Snotty, Reggie, Courtney, K-Law, RJ, Latoya, Shilia, Michael Thomas, Darrell Big G Galloway, Sam T, James Wilson, Tyrone Biggs, Terrence Meir, JD Whitelow, Julian Flournoy, and finally, last but not least, Kid Vegas 8402. Thank you for your support. Before I start, I just want to say I found out today that Celtics great legend Bill Russell passed away. So I just want to just give my condolences to all those who mourn the loss of a fine basketball player, civil rights icon, and overall legend in terms of society and basketball. And I just want to give him his applause for all he's contributed to life and the livelihood of those in this country struggling for equal rights. All right, folks. So I don't have too much. I just want to get into it now. And today's reaction is going to be, once again, Kevin Samuels IG Live, dated 3/25/2022. And this is a segment from that video called Is It Time to Give Up on the Dream? And of course, this will definitely be one of those.
This is a certified hood classic.
So be prepared to be entertained as always. Once again, it is Kevin Samuels, Instagram Live, March 25th. And here we go.
Hello.
Hey, Mr. Samuels.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry about earlier. I was at dinner and I didn't expect you to pick me.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so your question earlier was, do I think it's time to give up?
Give up the dream.
On the dream.
Give up a dream?
The dream.
I don't think so. I don't think a person should ever give up on a dream because it may not manifest in your timing.
Or manifest.
So I think that a person should just stay consistent and then things will happen in divine order.
Divine order.
How old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
29.
Where are you a Christian?
I'm a believer.
Okay. So where's
my.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything quite just yet, but just pay attention, folks.
all this manifest and divine order coming? Where does that come from?
Yes, manifested.
So Mr. Samuel, that comes from my experience. So, I mean, I get what you're.
You don't have to call me. You can call me Kevin. You can call me Kevin. It's fine.
Okay, so Kevin, I get why you're asking me about like the Christian belief because typically Christians would say, you know, there's power in the tongue and.
No, what I'm saying is this manifest and divine order, divine divinity is a higher spiritual power. See, those words they tickle your ears and they feel good to your ego, but where is it coming from?
Yeah.
Well, I do have a Christian foundation, so I was born and
Okay.
raised Christian. Yes, sir.
Okay, but I was
No, I just want to stop it there.
Oh my God.
Why does she have a hard time saying whether she's a Christian or not? You don't necessarily have to go to church regularly to be a Christian. At least I believe that. But I don't know why people are so embarrassed to say whether they're a Christian or not. I'm a Christian. I don't go to church regularly, but I certainly believe in many things. Not that I'm trying to impose upon anybody else, but hey, you believe what you believe. You don't believe what you don't believe. I don't know why people just have a power problem with that. But she said manifest. I don't know what this manifest thing is going on. But one thing that irritated me, which is totally digressing from the issue, is that I don't know why a lot of these ladies come on Kevin Samuels said, I didn't think I would get on. So if you didn't think you didn't get on, why'd you try to get on? And if you knew there was a possibility of you getting on, why then would you just not put yourself in a situation if you were allowed to get on that you would be available in an appropriate manner to have a discussion? As you can see, she's out and about, which sort of irritates Kevin when you're moving around with your camera. But I digress.
I was raised in a Christian church, and there was no talking about manifestation.
Correct.
There was talk about work. Faith without works is dead.
Correct.
I agree.
So, but do you though? Because you said you don't believe a person should give up on a dream. So you don't think a person should ever give up on a dream?
Wait, well, so back to what you said, yes, sir. So I feel that if a person is, like I said, if they're being consistent, then I feel like whatever their goal is, I feel that they should receive the results. If you're
Tell me
being
what you
consistent,
okay. Don't tell me what you feel. Tell me what you think.
what I think. So from my experience, with the goals that I had set forth for myself, I failed. Some goals I just didn't follow through with because I was inconsistent, or I didn't.
Okay, well, if I wanted to have a goal of playing in the NBA, it's my dream to be in the NBA.
Okay.
I could get there.
I think that I believe if you put the work.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Now I wanted to stop it there. See, this is the problem with people, especially these ladies that call on to Kevin Samuels. Let's be honest. There's no way Kevin's going to be playing in the NBA. It's hard enough for people who can play in the NBA to play in the NBA. So how is she going to say Kevin will be able to play? That's the thing. People are just not grounded in reality. But this lady, let's see what else she has to say. Because, I mean, she's not too bad. She doesn't seem to be very combative. But, of course, this manifest business, isn't that a TV show that is moving to Netflix? I believe it is. But let's go.
I need you to be honest, ma'am. See, this is don't do typical. Need to be right.
Sign language.
Don't diminish yourself like that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that in front of millions of people. Do you think I could get to the NBA, ma'am? Tell me what. Did you go to college?
Yes, sir. Well, I guess I have that belief because
No, ma'am. No, did you go to college?
Yes, sir.
Did you complete it?
Yes, sir.
You don't have to call me sir. You don't have to call me sir.
Okay.
But I'm 53. Tell me that I could make it to the NBA if I continue to be consistent.
Okay, at 53, no.
Exactly.
Okay, so there is a point in time where logic kicks in. Why is that so hard? Why is that so hard to just admit?
Yeah.
I guess
I'm 53 years old. You can see this gray in my beard, and you went all the way around the world to know. And this is why men say y'all are delusional, because y'all will sit there and be looking at the truth right in front of you, but you won't acknowledge it. Why do you need to believe so hard that if you just focus, why do you need to believe that your dreams will come true?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Why do you need to believe this? Why do you need to believe this?
Why do I need to believe that my dreams will come true?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need to believe it for myself in order for it to happen.
What's the difference between dream and fantasy?
Dream and fantasy. A dream is something that, a fantasy is something that may not come true, and a dream is something that there's a possibility.
No. I mean,
Yeah, not quite. A fantasy is something that is mostly imaginary, and something that you would love to happen, but is in the likelihood it won't. So it's things that you would want to happen that ordinarily wouldn't happen, and it causes your mind a dream. Well, the dream could be one of two things. The dream could be something you do in your sleep, something that you gaze about in the daytime, or a goal that you may have in life. Let's see if he says that.
I need it more concrete.
A fantasy is something that a person would I don't know, actually.
You don't know the definition.
I don't know the difference between a dream and fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I think people use those
The activity
interchangeably.
of imagining things, especially things that are impossible
That's
or
what I said.
improbable.
That's
So
what I
it's
said.
imagining things that are impossible or improbable.
That's what I said.
That's a fantasy.
Okay.
Many today's dreams are really fantasies called dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Telling me that I could get to the NFL would be a fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
It's very improbable. So the difference is the probability.
Yep.
At what point do you think the numbers dictate you should give up on a dream because it becomes a fantasy?
Lady with this phone, I tell you.
Out of 100%.
Out of 100%.
Out of 100%, if you say, okay, I got a 90% chance or a 95% chance, but 80% chance, but when it's below this, it's enough for me to give up on. What is that number?
I would say okay, well, I feel like
stupid.
It depends on the situation, but if I could pick an age, I would say in the late 50s.
Wow.
Late 50s.
50? So, okay. So, what we're talking about is women giving up on this fantasy man. At what point do you think a woman should accept the man that's in front of her, the average boring guy?
I would say, I don't know, Mr. Samuels, because it depends. Because I want to say, but I know a lot of 50-year-old women that bring
I'm
more
not talking about.
Oh, hell no!
This lady is seriously delusional. Now, you're going to say at 50 years old, that's when you say the dream is over. I mean, I guess that's not necessarily a bad age, but and I would never say the dream is over per se, but the dream is over. And what Kevin is speaking in terms of now you can't be so picky in terms of what you're looking for. And trust me, I can tell you, I know women right now that in their 50s or close to it, and they are saying they got the crazy standards. And I'm like, at that point in time, who you really looking for and what you looking for them to do? Are you looking for a rent-a-man or are you looking for a husband? And the problem with that is usually when the options diminish, then the husband becomes the reality. And it's very sad because, but let's see what else she says.
50-year-old man, I'm not talking about 50-year-old, I'm just talking about women in general.
Women.
At what age do you, okay.
Why is she looking at the phone like that?
Black women in particular, y'all are already marrying at a 1 in 4 rate. And that's with the baby boomers and Gen X.
Mm-hmm.
You're 30, how old? 29?
29.
She looks old for 29.
Millennials, y'all are marrying at less than a 20% rate.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch my show, you'll see that most women want the same kind of man.
I do.
You all can't have him.
You're right.
So when do you accept the fact that when should a woman who's average accept an average man?
35.
Why should she not accept him at 22 with her average ass? Why should she wait till 35? Is she gonna become less average? Or is she gonna become more average as she ages?
More average. I think I'm stuck in that. I get where you're going with this with the fantasy. I get it now. When I was listening earlier, I had so much to say.
Oh, no, he didn't. Miss Peaches?
Yeah. So I guess she's nervous, and that's why she doesn't really know what to say. But the truth of the matter is, this happens a lot. A lot. People don't realize when they're running out of time. And that's not just a woman thing. That's just people in general. When it comes to various parts of living, we tend to think we have forever when we're younger. And then we get to a point when we're older in life that we realize, it's not a lot of time left. And I'm guilty of that myself with certain things that, I wanted to do things in life and you procrastinate or you put it off. And then time just gets by you. And now you see really those things that you wanted to do previously because you're in activity, you're not able to do them. And that's what's going on with a lot of women in relationships. They just put it off because people have told them to go to school, get an education, get a career, and then settle down. But, relationships are hard in general, as we constantly say. And here you go. So before you know it, you're just kind of really getting into serious relationships late in the 20s, 30s. And by the time you're getting in and out of these bad relationships, you find out that you're in your 30s. And then you've kind of figured it out then, but there are a lot of handicaps against you. And it becomes even more difficult than when you were younger.
I get where you're going.
Yeah, logic is a bitch.
I get it. I'm laughing so hard because I was like, I can't wait to get on there because I have this point and that point. But I get what you're saying because I feel like for myself, I'm 9 years old. I have no children. I'm single. I was a teacher. I have a good head on my shoulders, right? And I feel like a little bit of me, I don't want to settle, but a little bit of me feels as if I'm waiting on this fantasy guy.
Fantasy, yep.
Well, let ask yourself a question. You don't have any children?
No, sir.
Okay, you don't have to call me sir. But you think about the man that could meet your standard, the man that does it for you. Woo! Okay, but you need to ask yourself, if he can meet your high standard, he can meet a lot of women's standards.
I know.
Message.
Then he can only pick one.
You're right.
What happens to the rest if he doesn't pick? Wait for another diamond? That's why I'm laughing. At 29, at what age do you just tell a woman to say, stop trying to get something that's out of your range?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I know I'm right, but why is it that women seem to be so repulsed by this idea?
I don't know, and I can tell you myself, that's a little bit, that's my reality. But I have the logic in the back of my mind. It makes sense. I'm still maneuvering
Should have
through
wrote
life.
it down.
What'd you go to college for?
I'm sorry?
What'd you go to college for?
So I majored in sociology, but don't do that. Mr. Samuels, give me a break.
No, it's one of them trash ass degrees. If you didn't go, you know what I'm going to say.
I know what you're going to say.
Stupid. What's your profession?
I'm a teacher.
That's what she said.
Okay, so your non-black teacher counterparts, are they married?
Yes.
Your black teacher counterparts, are they single?
The older one, yes.
Because you cannot make a living on a teacher's salary.
Oh, hell no.
So, as you see, she has revealed quite a bit of things. She fell into the Kevin Samuels trap, I like to call it, because he talks about those fields that you go into that people tend to not be able to find attractive in terms of dating, these careers or jobs, whatever you want to call it. He doesn't like to call teacher a career, but I call it career because I think education is important. But here's the thing that also we don't talk about. And in society, and this happens a lot in our community, that older women who are unsuccessful in relationships will sort of pawn this off on the younger generation. And I've seen this, and I've seen this a lot on social media, where they tell women that when they're younger, they shouldn't focus on relationships, especially if the guy's somewhat older, or, because Kevin always talks about you looking for a guy that's significantly older than you in terms of stability. So if you're looking for stability, a young guy's finding his way at the same age as you are, so you should look a little bit older. But here's the thing, regardless of the man is older, same age, whatever, a lot of these older women who are not successful at relationships would often encourage younger women to not get into serious relationships. So this is what happens. And women are not just women, people in general are not prepared for relationships, but women are definitely not prepared for relationships because they've been told to do all these things. And once they are in possession of all these things that they've been told to do, now a relationship is an afterthought, and nobody talks about being in a successful relationship or marriage. And then we run into these problems.
This is why I've made a transition into IT at March, right?
Why don't you make a transition into hubby?
What? What?
You're right.
I want you to understand that you had a profession where you were teaching other people's children. But instead, you did exactly what the world told you, to go and become a man, to go make more money.
Yeah.
Is that going to change your marital prospects?
No, I don't think it's going to change that, Mr. Samuel. I just feel like you said, I watch your often. I need to be able to take care of myself just in case I don't meet that guy. Like, I want to take care of myself.
What do you mean that guy? It is not that guy, a guy.
A guy.
Okay, dear. An average man gives you options. Yeah. When you have the flu, you got to take care of yourself right now. When you have the flu and you got an average $21 an hour man in the house, he can take care of you. You're right. You also got another extended family and cousins and everything else. An above average man gives you freedom. A job gives you money, and not a lot of it. And it can't replace a man. No amount of money can replace somebody giving you a thermometer and some juice.
But wait, Mr. Samuel, it's not that I want a relationship, and I'm not like the type of girl that wants this high value man, right? I'm not that girl.
He didn't say that.
I think it's easy done. Like, I watch your show often. Like, hard to find like a regular guy my age that has similar core values.
I smell cap.
Like, it's rare.
What state are you in?
I'm in Florida. I'm in Tampa, Florida.
Well, first of all, you said your non-black counterparts who are teachers don't seem to have a problem finding men. So 54% of black men are single and childless, 61% in the middle class. There are plenty of average men out there looking for wives. Because y'all say they marry white women and Hispanic women and everything. If they can marry them, they can marry you. Are you looking for an average man?
Nope.
No.
What you talking about? Listen, I think that my standards are realistic. Absolutely. I think it's realistic with you.
You think your standards are realistic? You said your standards?
Yes, sir. I really believe that. I don't think I'm looking for anything that's just so extreme. Like,
so I'm going to stop it there. I mean, I'm not finished yet. I think we still got a few minutes left, but I just want to interject there. You're not looking, you're waiting. And the problem with that a lot of times is when you're waiting for what you consider the qualifier. So you say you're not looking for much, but you're waiting for somebody to come to you. And the problem with that is 9 times out of 10, the person that you should probably end up with in terms of relationship net value, not monetary and worldly value, somebody who will revere you. You kind of meet them halfway. You got to give them the indication to approach you. Guys, a lot of guys that are good guys, not necessarily captains of industries or anything like that, but decent guys, they're looking for the cue to approach you, that you are approachable, that you may be interested in at least seeing what he's about. If you don't offer that, you can't say you're looking for something when you're not giving the cues that you're interested. And in my life, it's been very rare that women have been astute at showing that they're interested in me. I had heard a lot of stories. Oh, I liked you and this and that. Usually it's too late and you're telling me too long down the road. But if you were really interested in me, you should have let it be known. And there's ways you can do it without being desperate and thirsty. Trust me, there's a lot of ways to do it. I could have a conversation all night about that.
Right.
Okay. How many kids would you like to have?
I'm open, whatever God bless me to have, fine, but take care of.
Don't give me the God thing. How many kids do you want to have?
I would say 3.
3. When you're married and pregnant with the first child, do you want to have to work when you're pregnant?
If our circumstances.
Ma'am, I asked, when you're married and pregnant.
No, sir.
You don't have to work. You don't. When you have your 3rd child, do you want to? What percentage of the family financial bills do you want to have to be responsible for a lifetime with the 3 kids? Meaning, if you don't make the money, it's not there. Mm-hmm. What percentage?
I would like to contribute to the household. I don't know how to answer that.
I said, okay. Do you want your children to be able to go to college if they want to?
Yes, sir.
So you want to be able to pay for that. Would you like to be able to travel domestically and internationally with the family?
Both.
Okay. All right. What kind of household income do you think you're going to need to have 3 children and an upper middle class, lower upper class lifestyle? What kind of annual income?
I would say definitely not too.
No.
I know that.
Ma'am, if you're in Florida, it's every bit of $325,000 on the low end.
Say it again, Mrs.
Let's try to rewind that.
All right. What kind of household income do you think you're going to need to have 3 children and an upper middle class, lower upper class lifestyle? What kind of annual income?
I would say definitely not teacher's salary.
No.
I know that.
Ma'am, if you're in Florida, it's every bit of $325,000 on the low end.
Say it again, Mrs.
$300,000. You want $1.5 million in kids. So yes, ma'am, you do want a high value man. You want a man who is making over 6 figures, well over 6 figures. As soon as you said, I don't want to have to work to pay significant bills after I'm pregnant, that is a luxury reserved for the top 10% of women.
I think that's a loaded question that he asked him, because I think women are often afraid of saying that they don't mind working, because then he goes, you want somebody raising somebody else's kids and stuff like that. And I don't know if he says that so that they can focus on looking for an average man, but that often confuses women into saying no. And I think it is probably not preferable for a lot of women, but I think there are women who don't mind, depending on the circumstance, because there's some places, I've seen some industries where maternity leave has been a lot more flexible than others, where you don't have to take like a month. You can take several months, and it just depends on the setup and the family and stuff like that.
You don't want to have to, you may want to homeschool your kids, But you don't want to have to go punch a clock. You want your kids to have college. That means you got to pay for the home, the retirement, and then have surplus to pay for the kids' college. Then have surplus to travel internationally. Man, that's a rich man. And the first thing you said, I can't find a man my age. What kind of man your age is making that kind of money?
That's what I said earlier.
Men don't start making that money till around 45 to 55. Your husband at that level is in his 40s. Do you want to date a man? Do you want to marry a man who's 45 plus?
I don't mind. Like I said, Mrs.
But then why are you looking for men your age?
I guess because I've dated and I feel that I want to be lively. You know what I mean? Like
You said live? Would you say lively?
Yeah, I feel just because sometimes you get to older men and they just want to go to the cigar lounge or go golfing.
Yeah, it's called being responsible.
Those are facts.
But
responsible. No, it's both. What did I say last night?
That's a fact. I'm an older guy, and I definitely don't want to be in the streets all the time. So she definitely got a point there. For the most part, there's some older guys out there that don't mind being out in the street. I got some friends. They could be out every day. This club, that place, this place. I'm not one of those guys. I like being home, but I've always been that guy for the most part. So, but.
Folks, I told you, modern women need to cancel HBO. Happiness, they need to stop worrying about being bored and stop being overly optimistic. Life is boring, sweetheart. See, what y'all want is you want men who are in the top 3% of all earners. You want them to be physically attractive, good in bed. You want them to be around your age, and then you want them to live an exciting life.
Mrs. Sanders, can I just interrupt quickly? I'm not saying that we have to go to the club and get a section. He has to shop freeze. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, I want to be able to do things that are fun. I'm 29 years old. I mean,
Chick, it's called pay the light bill. That's what's fun. Fuck fun. You're almost 30 years old talking like a teenager. This is why stop. This is why I'm gonna start getting hardcore. You should be out of that phase. Stop. You should be out of that phase in life. You should have been out of that phase by 23. It's over.
It's over.
It's been over. Your colleagues are not going to the club on the weekend. They got princess birthday parties.
I understand. I wasn't saying that was my interest. I was just saying that I just want. Sometimes if you date a younger guy, they're on the other end of the spectrum. Sometimes and they're far on the other.
Dating younger guys is stupid for a woman that wants a family. All you can do is have sex and party with these dudes.
Exactly. So I guess.
But you're judging a relationship based on fun, man.
That's true. That's true.
This is part of the problem in Black America. Black women.
Got him.
She sure enough is. I don't even know if she realized what he just said to him, but he is dead on.
You want it all.
I know.
And this is why. And it sounds. You say you don't want a high value man. You want an elite high value man, and then you want to have fun, man. This is what you just said.
You make it sound so.
I'm not making this. It is.
He's just
bad.
right.
It is bad.
He's telling it
because
like
at 29 years old, you have wasted the last 6 years dating age inappropriate men and picking the wrong thing. Pick the boring guy. Pick the stable guy. Why do you think life is supposed to? You are supposed to be his entertainment. He's not supposed to be.
Right.
Guys, what I said last night, you might as well have a joystick hanging off your dick. You're supposed to be that video game. We're supposed to keep them entertained. We're not your fucking entertainment. You're our wife.
Okay.
You're my motherfucking entertainment.
No, I understand. I promise you, I get it. And I understand.
You say that now because you know I'm old enough and can call those shots. But the man who can really tell you this, you ain't trying to hear that shit from. A 32 or 33-year-old man should be able to tell you to fucking dance, and you should say, what the fuck, man? I mean, why do you think about it? You seem to be a pleasant woman, but don't you notice there's something wrong when you see all your non-black colleagues who are teachers married, and then the black woman is single as fuck?
Listen, I think about it all the time. I'm like, because I was an English teacher, and I'm like, in my department, I'm the youngest one. I got a nice shave, you know, and I see the other women. I'm like,
Nice shape.
What'd you do this weekend? What'd you do last weekend? What'd you do last weekend?
I went to the Maxwell concert in Atlanta.
What'd you do weekend before that?
So I just graduated the IT program. So I celebrated at the Maxwell concert. So the week prior, I was doing homework.
I was in Miami week before last, and I saw so many black women over 25 celebrating spring break. Y'all need to grow up. All y'all need to grow up, because here's the reality. Here's a hardcore reality.
It is.
Fine. Get your RTO, do whatever. But then when there's a man who's making above average money, decent money, but not rich, he's making $50,000, $60,000, and he's looking for a wife. Would you be upset if he decided to go get a non-black woman and start a family?
Nope.
Because the women, you and your friends aren't y'all ain't there yet.
Mrs. Samuels.
And he can't. And here's the thing. And he can't wait. And he can't go searching around to find another one. He needs to go ahead and start a family. Would you be supportive of saying, black man, get you a white woman?
Nah, B.
To my core, I wouldn't feel that way. I don't want our brothers to do that, right? But I do feel like.
Then how do we get anywhere with women like you?
Mrs. Samuels, don't say it like that.
Ma'am, I have to say it like that for the men.
You're right.
Y'all need to start thinking this. I mean, you don't know what you don't want to say it for. You don't want to say it for the black women. You're not worried about the black race. You're worried about black women.
Yeah.
The race will continue if we have wives. It won't continue if y'all don't get married and make families. So when the men are ready to look for wives, if you and women like you are at the Maxwell concert in the school, do that, but then you have to support that black man marrying him a white woman. You better throw him a Tupperware party, a bridal shower. And then when he comes to school with his kids, you better teach him just like, hey, how you doing, little Timmy, or little white girl named Keisha, and you better be just as nice to her. Yeah.
Mrs. Samuels, I want to tell you this, because I don't know if the call's going to go short, but when I tell you, I didn't have to support it at a young age, right? So when I tell you, when your show came out, it was like the harsh reality. I listened to it. I was in the restaurant, and I'm like, I gotta hear. And what sometimes it makes cut, but it's necessary. It really is necessary. So I appreciate you for, allowing tonight. I feel like that fantasy piece, I need to kind of drip out of my brain and settle in.
You're breaking in and out. But y'all need to start really. I mean, this is one little piece, but I'm telling you, millennials and zennial men, they're not waiting. Nope. We live shorter than y'all. We don't have time to wait. So, all right, have a good one. Going back in. Bye-bye.
All right, so I guess that's it there. But she's a cute lady. But she
You gotta bob and weave, bob and use your weave.
But here's a question that I have, and maybe somebody can answer this question, gentlemen, if you're watching. Help me out here. What's with the eyelashes? Men, do you really like those things? I don't particularly care for the eyelashes. I'm just wondering. Some of them do look nice depending on it, but that looks like a little bit much, and I'm not sure what the purpose are. Are men attracted to that? I don't know. But yeah, so it is time for the braces. So I'll hit that and then we'll be heading out. Relationship braces. Bringing hearts together. One heart at a time. 29-year-old former teacher in Florida, now IT, at the Maxwell concert. What is it that I could possibly tell you that could get you a desirable outcome, or at least one that is favorable? All right, here's the deal. I'm going to make this short and sweet. As I said earlier, and as I say almost all the time, relationships are about effort, right? So if you see somebody worth your time, you got to put yourself out there. And when I say put yourself out there, I don't mean throw yourself on top of somebody or throw yourself at someone. I mean, give the cues. There's so many slight cues that if there's a real quality guy out there that is interested in you, he'll pick up on those things and he'll make a move. Now, if he's socially awkward, he'll never figure it out. But if he has a little bit of common sense, he'll move closer to you when you allow him to. And there's ways you can do it. Conversation, smile, an an attentive stare, things like that. Engaging. Those are things that show men that women are interested in them. Now, that's not foolproof because some women do it and then still don't show that they're interested. But if you're interested, you should do those kind of things. And once you get a man moving in your direction, if he's truly interested, he'll move that way. And it'll be a lot easier than you waiting for somebody to approach you, because usually that's the wrong kind of guy. And those are the braces. All right, folks. Once again, it is that time for me to end the show. And as I said, it is Jonathan St. James. Thank you all for tuning in to the Truth is Still Straight podcast. And I'll see you next time. I am out. Wrong sound. I am out.